right, good morning out there in Radio Land. This is K4VWD, CQ, the old friend's net. This is Kilowatt 4 Victor Whiskey Delta, CQ, the old friend's net. This net meets 3 times a week at 9 o'clock on 3715, on Thursday, on Tuesday at 9 o'clock, same frequency, and on Sunday evenings at 6:30, same frequency. Everybody generating an AM signal is welcome. So CQ, the old friend's net. It is 64 degrees here at my house in Greenville, and got a few clouds, mostly sunshine. So with that, I'm going to stand by for calls. This is K4VWD.
Good morning, Lee W, A4LLR.
N4LQ.
NG for the win.
WB4ARK.
Z4 Bravo.
WB4NKL.
WD4KR.
Okay, stand by just a minute, please. This is K4VWD. There was somebody right after Steve that I couldn't copy, and somebody right after Cliff I couldn't copy. So what I got is LLR, LQ, a blank, ARK, KZ4 Bravo, and NKL. So I missed 2 stations. The one after Steve, please give me a call now.
Roger Lee, that was Stefan. NG for the win. Copy?
Gotcha, Stefan. Thank you. And who was that right after Cliff?
K4GDN.
And WD4KR.
Okay, I got George, GDN, but hold on a minute. I pressed the mic and I missed the one right after George. Who was that?
W4KR.
Okay, KR. O-N, Stefan. All right, here's the sequence I've got so far. LLR, LQ, ON, ARK, KZ4 Bravo, NKL, GDN, excuse me, and KR. Who else do we have?
K4 JAL.
W4VRO.
WA4EBK.
W4NEC.
Excuse me for pausing, but I was writing. Okay, so I added JAL, VRO, EBK, and MEC. So do we have anybody else right now? This is K4VWD.
Who comes after KZ4B?
Cliff, K4NKL.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll go down the list one more time and then we'll start. It's LLR, the LQ, ON, ARK, KZ4 Bravo, NKL, GDN, KR, JAL, VRO, EVK, and MEC. Did I miss anybody? I don't guess so. So, signals are good. We got a good list here this morning. That's great. So, Dave, go ahead and start us off. WA4LLR in the group, K4VWD.
All right, Lee, fine business, K4VWD. And the old friends, WA4LLR. Good morning to everybody. Same temperature as you, Lee, 64 degrees, partly cloudy, breezy. up here in the eastern part of Yancey County. Hope everybody's doing well today. And as you said, there's good signals all the way around. No problem copying anybody. So, we'll go ahead and pass it on. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
LLR, N4LQ. Getting ready to have a nice day today. Sun's on its way up. It's almost overhead. Feels like it's noontime here. And it's going to be up to 82 degrees for, I think this will be the hottest day we're going to have for quite a while. And we're running the AF-68 this morning and the AL-1200 amp to 365 watts carrier. So go ahead and take it, Stefan. NC40N, N4LQ.
Here's Steve, N4LQ in the group, NC40N. Beautiful copy, Steve, with the AF-68. Sounds beautiful here in the speaker. I'm running my 7100 this morning and just about 200 watts right now carrier, and yeah, also 62 degrees right here, and it's gonna be indeed a nice day today. Looking forward to it. All right, over to you, buddy. WB4ARK, NC40N. Go ahead.
NC40N, WB4ARK. Okay, Stefan, got a good signal into Lake Wiley today, as does all of the other stations. No problems. The band is very quiet, and we're looking for a very nice day here today. We had a little bit of cloud cover about an hour ago, but that is moved off, and it's beginning to look like it's going to be a clear day. So with that, over to KZ4B, WB4ARK.
Okay, WD4ARK in the group, KZ 4B. Fine business, everybody. Signals are great today, and this looks like Last Chance Gulch on good weather outside. Consequently, I got my half-wave in-fed long wire up yesterday. It's as high as it's going to be on the house end, but I need to raise it today on the opposite end. I just got it off the ground. I'm not transmitting on it today. I hope to the next net, but I haven't got it piped through the antenna tuner, although it may be resonant on 80 meters. But I haven't gotten that far. I did use it to receive, and it seems to pick up at least broadcast better than any of my other antennas. So on that note, take it away, Cliff. WA4NKL in the group, KZ4B. Over.
KZ4B, it's WB4NKL. Okay, John. Good deal on the in-fed. I've got a balun I'd build up for one and still sitting over here on the shelf. I might try to get that hooked up here one of these days. Too many plans. Still planning on putting up a loop. Still got to put another tower in the ground for that, which I've got. I just hadn't dug the hole or decided on the exact location. It's 63 degrees here. Supposed to get up to 71. Yesterday was our hot day. It got up, I guess, to 80 and set a record, they said. So it's not as hot today. Maybe some rain, they say, tonight and tomorrow. So I got my fingers crossed. It's real dry here, like it is everywhere else, I think. So go ahead, George. K4GDN. It's WB4NKL.
WB4NKL in the group. This is K4GDN, and it was in the low 60s this morning. Myrtle Beach, supposed to get to the upper 70s. I'm running the the Multi Elmac AF-67 receiving on the 7 receiver, and I'm feeding the homebrew 811s, and I guess carrier is running around 125 watts, something like that. Well, which is kind of stiff for the 811s, but they are real 811As, and they don't seem to be giving me any problems. I'm only putting about 5 watts into the linear, and I'm working on the B&W 5100B. Right now, I'm working on the AC input. I don't like the feed-through capacitors they use on both sides of the line, and they also use a 2-wire line cord. That's going to get changed over, and I think I'm going to take those feed-through caps out. I really don't like the way they put them in. They're on the back of the chassis, and they're exposed. If you drop something on, the metal connections are exposed, and they apparently don't have a cover that went on it, so I just don't like that at all. But anyway, that's what's going on here. So with that, let's see. I need to pass it on to Brian. KN4R in the group, K4GDN.
Okay, George, good morning to you. K4GDN in the Old Friends group, W4KR. Good signal this morning, George. Wow, when you called in, wow. Great signal. Temperature here is 64, just like it is, seems to be around the whole general area. And a few clouds in the sky. It's supposed to be fairly clear, but same forecast here. We're going to see next couple of days, we're going to see a little bit of rain. And I was going to do some painting out on the deck today. I was going to start painting the deck railing, but I think we'll put that off till after the rain stops. George, I share your feeling about those feed-through caps. The 32V, the Collins 32V series uses the same things. That's probably where B&W got the idea, and I didn't like them either. They can be troublesome. Okay, Jimmy, with that, up to you. K4JAL. This is W4KR.
W4KR in the group, K4JAL. Well, everybody's bragging on the signals today. Things are a little attenuated, which means I better check my antenna, I suppose. I got the 32V2 cooking this morning and listening on 75A4 out through a Cobra antenna, which Steve tells me can't work, but it works pretty good for me. Over to Ray, W4VRO, K4JAL.
Very good, Jimmy. K4JAL in the net, W4VRO. Good morning, Lee, and good morning to everyone checking into the net. Good group this morning, and it's summertime again as I hear the temperatures from around the net and feel them here. But we've had some fall weather. Last week it was below freezing several times. We had a hard frost. A lot of leaves fell off the trees at last, although there are many more to fall yet. But I'm looking forward to fall, and when fall comes, my thoughts always turn to being in the woods, just enjoying the woods or hunting. It's nothing more pleasant and fun for me than getting deep in a really big woods and enjoying it, whether I'm just in the woods for pleasure or hunting either. But I haven't hunted much for several years since moving to Georgia, simply because there aren't very many really good places to hunt close by. But I'm going in December, at least once, maybe twice, going down to South Georgia and hunting some wild hogs. But enough about that. Boone, how are you this morning? WA4EVK in the group, W4VRO.
W4VRO in the group, WA4EVK. Doing excellent this morning. Trying to get some outside projects finished. I've got a Elmac here that I'm one plug shy of, and I've got that on the way. So thanks to John K1VVC. So we should actually have some plate modulated AM going on here for too long from this GTH. Beautiful weather, taking full advantage of it. leaves are also off. This antenna I'm on now, the far end of it's not too far off the ground, thanks to a rotten limb, so that's on my agenda for this morning, or for a little bit later this morning. And great signals this morning. Got a little fading going on some of them. Got George through, which I sometimes have a hard time hearing. I'm surprised with that antenna like it is that he's as clear as he is. And with that, I'm going to throw it up to Charlie, W4MEC, WA4EVK.
Okay, bud. WA4EVK in the group W4MEC. Real good. Morning, fellas. It's a little cooler here. It's about 58 degrees and clear, of course. So, that's okay. I just looking at the weather radar, I see a big pile of rain over in Texas and New Mexico kind of sidling over this way. I don't know if it'll make it. The big prediction was 20% chance of drizzle tomorrow, so that's something to look forward to. My wife was reading me about the fire up here in Edneyville, said it's still, not 100% contained, but then we looked out and the word contained has sort of a different meaning when it comes to fires. So it has, basically it means it's the chance of a fire jumping over a spot that it is stopped. So it's still so basically it's not expanding, but there's still a chance that it could. But they've been doing things like using drones with infrared sensors at night to find hot spots and attack them the next day, because during the day the infrared is confused by the sun. So they're still fighting it. And she was also telling me that the last big one we had down at Lake Lure, after they got it completely out, it took them another 6 weeks in order to really put it out, fighting hot spots and flare-ups and stuff like that. So still a lot of leaves falling over here, so they're going to be busy for a while yet. So anyway, everybody's got a good signal up here, and I'm amazed that Lee heard John check in, because he was very weak. I think he forgot to turn something on there. Yeah, I thought he would have missed him, but everybody else is doing okay. George has got a fair copy here too today. So I'm the real tail end Charlie for a change, so let me go back. K4VWD and the group W4MEC.
W4MEC, K4VWD. Well, thank you, Charlie. And my rig today is, I'm running about 200 watts using my amplifier, and if Steve, you can comment, and anybody else that feels like it can comment on whether they hearing any hum today. So anyway, with that, I'll stand by to see if we got anybody else. So if anybody else wants to join us, please call me now. Don't hear anybody. Seemed like to me I heard somebody tuning up on Jimmy or Ray, maybe, but nobody joining us. We got 13 here this morning, and that's great. And I did not have to strain it all to hear everybody. Now, that may change this time around because of the time of day we're in, but copied everybody just fine. So, Dave, get us going again. WA4LLR in the group. Excuse me. WA4LLR in the group. K4VWD.
Lee, fine business. K4VWD, WA4LLR. Everybody sounds good. A good copy up here. Let's see. They're saying our high today is 72. Yesterday we got up to about 78, so it's starting to cool down a bit. And our forecast says almost a 90% chance of rain tomorrow. They're predicting 1/4 of an inch, so that's better than nothing. And certainly hope we get it, and wouldn't mind getting a bit more. Let's see, the Elmac sound good. John, glad you got the end fed going, and glad it receives well. And Ray, yeah, I enjoy getting out in the woods in the fall too. and good deal on the hog hunt. I hope you get have a lot of fun and get some pork out of that. Oh, Charlie, glad that they've sort of got the Edneyville fire contained. It's not spreading any further. We sure don't need any more of those going. Well, let's see. Things kind of quiet on the space weather front. Sunspot count's 92. Solar flux index is 146. And the K is 2.67, or it was at the last reading I got. This day in history, quite a bit of things happened in Germany on this day. On this day in 1989, the Berlin Wall was opened. I remember watching that on TV. It was quite an emotional experience. My wife had been over there, and we'd gone through the wall from West Berlin to East and visited some folks in Leipzig. That was quite an experience. And boy, it was something to see that wall come down. On this day in 1934, Carl Sagan was born. On this day in 1913, Hedy Lamarr was born. On this day in 1985, Garry Kasparov became the youngest male chess champion in the world at 22. On this day in 1923, the beer hall Putsch, led by Adolf Hitler, ended after 16 Nazis were killed on a march toward the center of Munich. On this day in 1938, Kristallnacht, or Crystal Night, or the Night of the Broken Glass, began, lasting for about 48 hours. Nazi-orchestrated Jewish violence, anti-Jewish violence erupted in Germany and Austria, ending in the death of 91 Jews. On this day in 1922, Albert Einstein was named winner of the Nobel Prize for his explanation of the photoelectric effect. On this day in 1888, Jack the Ripper's killing spree in Whitechapel, London, district of London, came to an end. So that's a few things from this day in history. So, on down to you, Steve. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ, reminded me of Blazing Saddles there. Hedy Lamarr, whatever. Yeah, wasn't she a ham? Was that who I'm thinking of? Anyway, to anybody that calls the transformer for an end-fed half-wave antenna a ballon, you receive a frowny face. Have to get that straightened out. Lee, yeah, he sounds just the same. You got a little hum there. People with regular rigs and little speakers aren't going to hear it. I can hear it because I got these big speakers here, and I wouldn't worry about it until we can get it fixed. 160 went well last night. We had a really good net last night, and we're doing kind of a round table situation whereby we pass it from one to another in an organized fashion instead of the chaotic push-to-talk system, which works fine on sideband, but tends to, you end up with a couple of people dominating and other people sitting there snoozing, so I thought we'd try this, and I think it works out better. As long as you can keep notes on people, and that's the hardest part, is to keep notes and remember to comment on questions and things that come up during the lengthy round table circulation. I sent out a link to an eBay auction for AF-68 batteries, any of the later Elmacs, and I thought it was a pretty good idea. This guy is selling the 2 batteries and a battery holder for $10, which is a pretty good deal, and probably easier to do that than the Zener mod. The batteries, I looked them up, they're really cheap. The battery number is a 23A, and they're 12-volt batteries. You need 2 of them, and the battery holder puts them in series for a little. You get a little bit over 24 volts, so it's perfect. You can buy it on Amazon. Let's see, here's a 10-pack of those batteries for $7. I had no idea they were that cheap. And the battery holders, you can also buy a big pile of those for less than $10. And it looks like they're smaller than a AA battery, so they will not fit in a AA holder. But two of those, that little holder should be pretty close to the same size as the original battery, so I guess you just double tape it or something and stick it in there, or screw it in, one or the other, and hook the wires back up and you're done. So it looks like a pretty good option. One of these days I would like to test a battery against the Zener idea and just see exactly what the difference is in modulation power. And I noticed that if I try to run full power with my Elmac with the Zener in it, my modulation percentage slips down a little bit. It's not quite as loud. I doubt if anybody would ever hear the difference, but it's possible that the power consumed by that Zener is enough to cause that. No big deal. So let's go on to Stefan and his 7100 sounding good. NC40N, N4LQ.
Steve, N4LQ in the group NC40N. All right, well, AF-68 sounds good too here. Yeah, I like this 7100 a lot. It's a little fun radio, and sometimes I use it on D-Star, so it's kind of an interesting mode too. If any of you have not experienced or tried D-Star, feel free to email me something. I'll be happy to help you with some questions. All right, well, I had a few issues with the Kenwood here lately, but I was able to straighten that out with just a little bit of an deox spray. I was able to bring the Kenwood back alive, which made me happy. I didn't have to send it out for repair, so that was good. And thank you, Dave, for all the details on the history. That's always very interesting. All right, back to... I think it's Buddy, WB4ARK and the group NC40N. Go ahead.
NC40N, WB4ARK. Okay, Stefan. Well received, everybody, quite well on that round. No problems. Oh boy, I had a big sneeze. So, still working on the 32S3, doing some alignments on it, trying to figure out what the problem is. It doesn't have good drive, but we're narrowing it down. And that's about it for right now, actually. Don't have much else to say. And so we'll send it over to John. And I'll say 73 at this point. Thanks, Lee, for doing the net. It's been a great net today. A lot of people checked in. So over to John, KZ4B, WB4ARK.
Okay, WB4ARK in the group KZ4 Bravo. Fine business, buddy. Steve, guilty as charged. The half-wave end-fed is definitely unbalanced. Therefore, that shoe doesn't fit. Slip of my tongue. But anything that's a box associated, a black box associated with an antenna, I'm forever slipping up calling it a balun when it shouldn't be. I have a horizontal loop that I've had up for years and years. It's about 375 feet in circumference, but I can't get it to tune on 80 meters. It works on the other bands, but not 80 meters. And I need to do some cheating with maybe a shunt capacitor at the input to the tuner and see if I can fool the transmission line length to get it to work. I'd like to see how that works in comparison with the end-fed. But the end-fed is up, and I just need to raise the far end from the transformer end and get that up as high as I can. I've got a number of wire antennas and there's some crisscrossing going on, so I can't go as high as I like to, but anyway, I'm excited to have that antenna up to see how it works. So maybe the next time I'm on, barring any snags, I'll be on the half-wave end-fed. Signals are quite good today. George, I'm copying you as well as I ever have. So Myrtle Beach is booming in. And I wanted to comment that my son and his family just moved down to Myrtle Beach. So on some visit, maybe I can set up an eyeball when I get down there. So that's about all I've got. I need to get started. This is probably the last good day we're going to have for quite a while, so I need to get out there and get cracking. So I hope, thanks for calling the net, Lee, and you're booming in here as usual, and hope everybody has a great week. So over to you, Cliff, WA4NKL and the group KZ4. Be clear but listening.
KZ4B, WB4NKL. Okay, John. Yeah, I need to put up my transformer too. I've got it built over here. Try that out sometime. And Steve, I guess it's the same batteries. I bought them at Lowe's. They come in a 2-pack, 12 volt. I think they're made for garage door openers, and they're not too expensive. But I've used those, but I've just soldered leads onto them instead of you put them in the holder, sort of like the Elmac did originally, and I taped them up and I put them in there. And then I've used the single ones in some of the hand mics. Used to use a 7-volt battery that you can't find. I've used those same batteries in the hand mics, and sometimes just leave them at 12 volts. It's don't really seem to make any difference. Or you can put a 5-volt Zener in series with them and drop it down to 7 volts. But you get a little more power. Like you said, you get a little more power out of the fixed bias than you do the cathode bias. So there's a little bit of difference in the wattage. But I've also built voltage doublers and then regulated it to 24 volts and did it that way in the Elmacs too. But you can't run them on DC after that. You have to keep them on the AC supply for the voltage doubler to work. I guess I'll get out and say 73s too and get my walk in before it starts warming up too much. Still in the 60s here. So enjoyed it. Thanks for calling it, Lee. And go ahead, George, K4GDN. It's WB4NKL.
Okay. Good transmission there, Cliff. Copied 95%. You faded a little bit right into you. WB4NKL in the group K4GDN. And in working on the, I'd like some comments about this. In working on the 5100B, B&W put a low-pass filter in the output of the transmitter. They feed the Pi network from the finals into that. And the one that came in mind, and apparently this was the normal one that most of them had, was a 75-ohm low-pass filter. And in the manual they say that you can buy a transmitter with a 52-ohm output at no additional expense, but they really don't say what the difference is. But in looking at their catalog, they do make a 52-ohm low-pass filter. So I'm assuming that's all they changed. My opinion at this time is I'm just going to leave the low-pass filter out and feed the antenna directly from the output, like all the other transmitters I have. Johnson, on the other hand, made both a 75 and a 52 ohm low-pass filter you could add, but it was an aftermarket accessory. I'm just curious, why in the world would they have put a 75 ohm in there? However, maybe in the late 50s, 75 ohms was more common than 52. But I really don't know. That was a little bit before I got into radio. So anyway, I'd appreciate some comments on that. And Charlie, I'm glad to hear that you're not threatened by the fire. That was kind of a concern my wife and I were talking about this morning, wondering what was going on with that, because they did mention it on the news some. So let's see. With that, I'm going to pass it on to Brian, KN4R in the group K4GDN.
That's W4KR. You still here?
I'm here. I thought Brian had said had popped in there. Okay. Anyway, good morning. Good morning, George. K4GDN, W4KR. Hey, good morning again. Didn't mention last time, they're running this morning, running the Viking 2. Viking 2's feeding the dipole up at 100 feet. The other end of the Viking 2's got a D104 attached to it, and the receiver on this morning is the receiver du jour is the NC303, same as Sunday. And Dave, thanks for all the information, the space weather info. I always appreciate hearing that. Buddy, your 32V3 low drive. You might check. I've seen, Buddy. I've not had the experience, but I've seen writings of the corrosion building up on the underside of the tuning rack. And if I remember right, they do not have nuts on the other end of that, so you might you might try cranking down on the screws that hold the tuning rack in place, or lift them up and clean it. See if that helps. Hope that helps you. I mentioned last time around. I mentioned George's filter caps won't go there again. Don't have an end-fed antenna, so it won't go there. Ray, I wonder, Ray, if you have another trip up this way in the near future. Really enjoyed the get together with you and Boone and our friend there in Sunrise. Let's see, that is going to be about it. I'm going to have to sign after this one. I'll listen around to the end, but I'm going to have to give my wife a hand with something she's trying to do upstairs. One final question. I'm working on the feedback ladder at a Collins broadcast transmitter, and they used carbon compositions. I wonder if I could get away with you, and they've drifted way off, way out of tolerance. I wonder if I could get by with metal films, because good stable carbon compositions are just about impossible to find. With that, Jerry, back to you. K4JAL, this is W4KR. Good morning, everybody. See you Sunday.
W4KR, K4JAL. Well, I'm going to have to get out of here, too, on account of my cell phone isn't working, and I've got a cancellation of an appointment that they'll charge me for if I don't. And, by the way, Hedy Lamarr was one of the good things to come out of the 1930s Germany. She did a wonderful little film, Swimming Nude in a Pond, that was famous worldwide back when you couldn't do that. Plus, she was a great electronic engineer. I'm out of here now, I suppose. Ray, over to you, W4VRO, K4JAL 73.
K4JAL, in the group W4VRO. 73, Jimmy. Good to hear you this morning. Stan, 73 to you, and who else signed? Maybe Buddy. Buddy, I hope you're still around. Stan mentioned your work on the 32 V3, and I'm sure he meant the 32 S3. He was remembering Jimmy's 32 V2, which was sounding good this morning. And Buddy, hope you're enjoying the troubleshooting, and sounds like you are. Stan, don't have a date yet for a trip up to the upstate of South Carolina, but I'll send you a text as soon as I get something on the calendar. I enjoyed it very much too, and would like to do that again. Lee, I didn't hear any hum until you mentioned it, and then I listened and I could hear very weak, very low-level hum, and Steve described it perfectly. Forget about it. It's so, most people are not going to notice it, but I can barely hear it, but just forget about it and keep talking. What other, oh, Dave, thank you for the well wishes on the hog hunt. Well, I'm planning 2 hunts. I'm absolutely determined that at least one of them becomes a reality, but no pork for the table, Dave. That, most every sounder of hogs now in the southeastern United States is infected with brucellosis, also called swine flu. It's contagious to humans, and there's no treatment for it. And people who get a good infection of that are plagued with it for the rest of their life. The flu-like symptoms can be varying in severity, but put you in the bed, and you get over it and have a brief period of normal life, and it just attacks again, having the flu repeatedly for the rest of your life. So I don't touch them. I just kill them and leave them right where they are. And in any big woods, there's such a variety of scavengers that you can go back to a dead hog or where it was a day or two later and it's gone. There might be a small piece of bone or a little hair or some hide, but it's put to good use by some animals that, I don't know if they get the brucellosis from it or not. I hope not. But that's the hog hunting. I'm looking forward to it. Half the fun is thinking about it and planning it. Well, Lee, thank you for calling the net. It's been a good one, and I'll be listening around for a few minutes, but hope to see all of you Sunday evening. Boone, over to you. WA4EBK in the group, W4VRO.
W4VRO in the group, WA4EBK. Ray, count me in if we have another gathering here in Pickens or somewhere close. I'm pretty flexible on where. Lee, I didn't hear any hum. You've got a quite strong signal in here, and maybe I just don't have a good audio set up this morning. I'm using headphones, which aren't very responsive. So, didn't hear it. And with that, I'm going to send it on up to Charlie, W4MEC, WA4EBK.
Hey, Boone, WA4EBK in the group, W4MEC. They're good round that time. Well, I don't know what carbon compositions you need, Stan, but it got to Brian. I think Brian gave it back to Steve there, a big old plastic bag full of carbon comp resistors, 0.5 watt and 1 watt, I think. He might have some you need, and I always get confused on that too. The metal film, the metal oxide, the carbon composition, of course the wire round, you don't want to deal with that in any RF situation, but there are differences when it comes to audio about what one to use, and I don't remember what it is. I always got to go to look it up online and just put it in the search engine there and read about the different ones, and you'll find somebody, audiophile, will tell you don't use this type, So if you're running in the audio circuit, I do a little research there and see what the audiophiles have to say about the type of resistors to use in today's amplifiers and stuff. And let's see, what else we got here? Yeah, I'd like to have another meet, and maybe if when Ray comes up, and it'll be on a time that doesn't conflict with. I know John couldn't make it, and I couldn't make it because that Tuesday conflicted with what was going on. So whatever day it was. So hopefully the next time we'll be able to get together there. And Boone, I totally forgot again about the 6-meter net. I don't know what make me a big neon sign with a timer on it or something. I'm still trying to get that Kenwood going on 6 there. It dawned on me that where I wanted to put it, I kid you not, it was 1/4 of an inch too low. I had a perfect spot to put this thing, and I'm sitting there, how can I fix this, you know? And then it dawned on me, all I got to do is raise this shelf with a couple of 3/4 inch spacers and a board, and I'll have plenty of room. So I got to get my bumper jack out, not my bumper jack, my bottle jack, hydraulic bottle jack, and get it under here so I can lift this shelf up, because it's got the Apache and the Mohawk and a bunch of other stuff sitting on top of it. So I've done that before, jack it up and slide a board under something heavy. So I got to do that, and then I'll have room to put the rig in the operating position here. So, and hopefully get it going on 6-meter sideband. But still like to do the AM too. So anyway, let's see. I'm going to hang here to the end. I don't know if we're going to do a 73 round, but I'm going to turn it back to Lee. K4VWD in the group, W4MEC.
W4MEC, K4VWD. Okay, Charlie. Thank you very much. Well, we've had at least half of our group signed out. So, Stefan, you'll turn it to Boone. Everybody else is signed out but maybe listening. So, Stefan, you turn it to EVK. So we'll take a quick 73 round, and it's good to hear everybody. So, Dave, go ahead. WA4LLR in the group, K4VWD.
K4VWD in the group, WA4LR. 73 to all the folks that signed. I don't remember George signing, but he may have. But all the others you mentioned certainly did. Charlie, I don't know why you don't just grab that shelf with one hand and hold it up while you slide the board under. I mean, I just got those light green boxes there on it. Oh, man, I don't know what it would take to lift some of the shelves I've got here. More than I've got, I can tell you. Steve, you're talking about Hedy Lamar. She was not a ham. But they listed her as an amateur scientist. She did invent an anti-jamming system called frequency hopping, which of course is used now in cell phones and a lot of other things. But she was quite a brilliant gal. And I think she did sue for that Headley Lamar thing in Blazing Saddles, but I don't know how that ever came out. Anyway, Lee, thanks for calling the net. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Lord willing, we'll catch up with you on Sunday. Everybody pray for rain. We need it. 7-3 and God bless. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
K4LLR, N4LQ. Yeah, Blazing Saddles is a classic. I have watched that thing numerous times, and I learned something new every time. It's sort of like the Old Brother, Where Art Thou movie. That's another classic that I love to watch over and over again, and a few others. Anyway, I don't watch a lot of movies, obviously. I didn't realize that many people had checked out, but I guess they have. And George, if you're listening, I'm with you on getting rid of low-pass filters these days. You're not going to interfere with a TV set like you did in 1955. That's for sure. I just forget about the 75 ohm. Yeah, there used to be a lot of 75 ohm stuff back in those days, and I think it was a twisted pair and twin lead. They had 75 ohm twin lead. I had some of that one time when I was a kid, and it was transmission cable, they called it, but it was just 2 wires in a solid vinyl jacket or plastic jacket of some sort. Real lossy stuff, but they called that 72 or 75 ohm or something like that. And Heathkit sold a Ballon, and that was made for a certain impedance, and it's not anywhere near the same as our modern day toroid type broadband Ballons. On the resistors, I don't think it matters as far as audio. It might anything matters to an audiophile. You can discount that, but as far as RF goes, you don't want to use a metallic metal film type resistor, because they do have a certain amount of inductance, and people have tried to use those to test in-fed half-wave transformers and found out that their SWR was real high, and they were confused because they were using metal film resistors, and it skewed the SWR, and they thought something was wrong. So those have to be carbon or carbon film, and carbon film resistors work okay. That's about all I can say about that. So anyway, I guess that's about it from here. I'll go ahead and I'm not sure about Stefan. I thought he was still here, but what do I know? Stefan, let me find out real quick. Are you still here? Well, I guess I missed that. Okay. So this is N4LQ turning it over to either Stefan or KZ4B or WB4NKL, whoever's left. Go ahead.
Mr. Steve, N4LQ in the group NC4ON. All right, I'm going to make this my last one. 273s to all of you and those who were checked out. Have a great rest of your week, and thank you, Lee, for doing the net. You're coming in here real good today. Excellent copy. So with that, I'll send it over to Boone, and I'll be out of here. Have a great rest of your week, guys. WA4EVK, NC4ON clear. 7 trees.
It's K4GDN. I think I'm still in.
All right, go ahead, George.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate the comment there, Steve, on the low pass filter. I don't see any point in them now anymore, and appreciate you calling the net, Lee. And I can hear the hum. I didn't hear it the other day, but the only reason I noticed it is because you mentioned it. If you hadn't mentioned it, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. It more or less sounded like a fan going in the background or something like that. But it is there. But unless you mention it, it's going to be hard to tell, particularly with on AM with conditions like they are now. So with that, I'm going to say 73 and God bless. And I'm assuming that that Boone is still there. Otherwise, I guess Charlie gets it. So thanks for calling in that there, Lee. WA4EVK in the group, K4GDN.
Boone, go ahead.
Sorry, Lee. I just could barely copy George that time. George. I'd like to say 73s, everybody. Charlie, I forgot to mention, I'm glad you're through with your logging. That looked pretty tough. That's about it on my end. I enjoyed it, guys. And Lee, I'm not... Oh, that's right, Charlie. Still in there. Charlie, I understand what you mean. I need to raise the shelf here to get a HQ 170 under it. It'll happen at some point, but I tell you, it's enough of a rodeo that I don't take it lightly. So I'm really would really be reluctant to do that with that much equipment on it. Anyway, over to you, Charlie. 73s, everybody. W4 MEC to take it, WA4EBK.
Hey, Boone, real good. WA4EBK in the group W4MEC. Hey, one quick comment. Not a low pass filter, but I still have one of those B&W filters on the back of this TX1 here. And I also use them on my military gear, and just in case they put out something weird. You know, the Drake and the B&W filters are for the 5 ham bands, and that cuts out all the garbage between the ham bands. At least they claim it does. So, and I always worry about some of this gear not interfering with televisions and that, but ending up somewhere in the HF spectrum, and it shouldn't be. So I still use those old filters. Comment on Blazing Saddles. The only time I saw Blazing Saddles was when it came on TV. I never saw it in the theater. So one day I went and got a copy of it and was going to let my kids watch it. I don't know how old they were. Probably, I think my oldest was about 12 and my youngest was about 8 or so, 8 or 9. And I put that thing there and started it, and I immediately got rid of it. I turned it off. Of course, they've seen it by now, but when they're 12 and 9, you don't want them to watch that movie because about every other word is a cuss word, and some bad ones in there too. So I shut that one down. I still have a copy somewhere of it, but yeah, that one, and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and I got a few that I like to watch. A couple of John Wayne's, and I tell you, some of those good westerns with Kevin Costner in it, and Robert Duvall, some of those real good westerns, and I can watch those over and over again. So, and one of the best westerns I ever saw was one called Purgatory. I got a copy of it, and Purgatory was a movie made for TNT, the channel, and it is a really good western. But I got a DVD of that thing just to watch it now and then. But I know what you mean. I get real picky on the movies you want to watch because so many of them are junk. So 7-3-all, we'll see you on Sunday afternoon, and trying to get on 160, so maybe I'll make it. It's W4MEC, K4VWD in the group, and what's left of it, W4MEC. Bye-bye.
Lee, could I make one final comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Amen, Charlie. And I wanted to respond to Boone and to Charlie about the luncheon whenever we can put one together again, and to Lee and John, K1VBC, and all the other locals close by that area. Stan, I enjoyed that lunch very much too, and I hope we can do it again. And when we can get a date on the calendar for another one, I know I can't get up there in the first part of December, but as soon as we can get a date, we'll get the word to everybody and have another good time at lunch together. Lee, thanks again. 73-all. K4VWD in the group, W4VRO clear.
Okay, Ray, very good. Well, I look forward to that also. I really enjoy it because I don't get out much, but I do for that, and that's wonderful. This is K4VWD. Well, first of all, Steve, thank you for picking up when I dropped the ball, but my hand was on the mic when you broke in, and I'm glad you did. Thank you very much. And I appreciate the home reports from Ray and Boone. Thank you. Let me take a quick standby. Does anybody have any final comments? This is, and George, excuse me for skipping over you, and I'm glad that you got picked up. Anybody got any final comments? This is K4VWD. Well, don't hear any. So 7-3, God bless everybody. Look forward to talking to you on Sunday, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. The temperature here is up to 69, and the sun's shining bright. So 7-3, God bless. This is K4VWD, now closing the Old Friends Net. So long.